Hello and welcome to Think About It, where we have two primary goals. One, to get you to think about it, and two, to have you pass these videos along to some of your friends who may need to do some thinking. I'm sure that, like me, you have been overwhelmed by the devastating scenery and visuals coming from Japan. I've never seen anything like it in all of my life, which makes sense because this is on a scale so grand it may never have happened before in recorded history. Seeing entire parking lots full of cars floating down the road, the explosions, the tsunami, the whirlpool, all of it, the massive loss of life and the devastation brings about some powerful questions. And I think there are some lessons for us to learn from what's happened in Japan. And first and foremost, it's this: there is a God, and he was not elected. He doesn't have a 4-year, 2-year, or 6-year term. He is eternal, and he is sovereign. He's never surprised. He doesn't have a breaking news ticker at the bottom of his screen to learn what's happening around the world. He didn't look down from heaven at Japan and say, "What in my name is happening?" He's in control of all of it, even when we don't get it. It's not our place to question his sovereign God. It is our place to pray for those who are impacted and perhaps to learn from this anything that we can that may draw us closer to him and make us better people. He is never surprised, and he is in charge. And he has clearly demonstrated that there are no guarantees in life. Life is precious. Life is fragile. And life is temporary. We invest an awful lot of time and resource into doing our very best to never think of or deal with the end of life. I'm in no hurry to die, and I'm sure you're not either. But it is interesting where our priorities rest when tragedy strikes. Life is indeed precious. The third lesson from what's happened in Japan is that people do not need government to force them into being charitable. Tens of millions of dollars are rolling in from around the world to worthwhile, I hope, relief organizations like Samaritan's Purse and Red Cross. I say I hope because there are also a lot of flim-flammers that pop up when these kind of things happen, and boy, I'd hate to be those folks when somebody calls them out for having wasted those donations. But there are reliable people who are relying on you and on me for our generosity and compassion to help in some way. You see, people do like to help others. We just don't necessarily like being forced at the threat of imprisonment, financial penalty, or lawsuits. We'd prefer to have our hearts touched and then move us to compassion. And so as we see these scenes coming from Japan, could I encourage you to do a couple of things? Number one, pray for those people. Pray for those who may, as we sit here now, be waiting for someone to come and rescue them, wondering if it will ever happen. Pray that during this time of tragedy, maybe their eyes and ears and hearts would be open to receiving a message about Almighty God, and how even though perhaps their government doesn't want them to hear it, he is in control of all. And finally, may I encourage you to contact Samaritan's Purse, a fantastic organization that does wonderful work, especially in times like this. Franklin Graham's group goes into where the need is greatest, and they help meet both the physical and spiritual needs of the people impacted. It's a wonderful organization. My encouragement to all of us is to do something to help in a powerful, lasting, effective way. Think about it.